All right, let's talk about this, because it's a wild one. Imagine this. You've got a 12-win season. You've won your conference championship. You're heading to paradise for a bowl game. For the FIU Panthers, it was the absolute perfect story, right up until that final chapter.
So much for paradise. A dream season just comes to a screeching halt in Honolulu. What was supposed to be this huge championship celebration, well, it turned into a long, very quiet flight home after a double-digit lead just evaporated in the second half.
And that's the big question, right? The one we're going to break down here. How does that happen? To really get the heartbreak, you first have to understand just how dominant this team was to even get to that point.
Yeah, before that collapse, there was an absolute conquest. This wasn't just a good FIU team, you have to understand. This was arguably one of the best in the program's entire history, a total juggernaut that just rolled through Conference USA. Just look at that record heading into the bowl game. 12-1, 12 wins, 1 loss, and they were conference champs. Look, they weren't the underdogs here, they were the standard. This was a team that knew how to win, and they knew how to win big.
And just look at how they did it. This wasn't a team squeaking by in close games. No, they were dismantling opponents. I mean, a 38-point demolition of Middle Tennessee, a dominant win over Jacksonville State, and then, when the lights were the brightest in the CUSA title game, they absolutely delivered. And the engine behind that whole championship run? It was the quarterback play. In the biggest game of the year, Keon Jenkins he was pretty much perfect. 16 of 17, 3 total touchdowns. Folks, that's not just game management, that is surgical precision. And listen, he had an entire arsenal of weapons around him. Kejon Owens at running back, he was the heart and soul of that whole offense. Then you got Dallas Payne, the tight end, an unstoppable force in the red zone. And guys like TJ Snowden, they could break a game wide open at any moment. This offense was balanced, it was explosive, and it was absolutely championship caliber.
Which brings us back to Hawaii. With all that momentum, all that talent, and a 12-1 record, what on earth happened? The answer, well, it lies in a complete and total 180 after halftime.
Man, this game was the definition of a tale of two halves. The first half, classic FIU. They're up 10-0, the defense is suffocating, it looks like it's going to be another dominant win. But then, after halftime, nothing. The offense just went completely silent, and the defense finally broke, giving up 17 unanswered points. Just like that.
So what was it? What was the one thing that triggered the collapse? It really all comes down to a single number, 4. That's it, 4 interceptions. The efficiency, the ball control, everything that defined their season, it just completely vanished when it mattered most.
All right, so let's get out the virtual chalkboard here and really diagnose what went wrong. How does a team that looks so unbeatable all year suddenly look so vulnerable?
And you have to start right here with the quarterback. Just compare this stat line to his performance in the championship game. The efficiency is gone, and it's replaced by 4 incredibly costly turnovers. Every single one of those interceptions was like a dagger. It killed a drive, it swung momentum, and it put a gassed defense right back on the field.
But here's the thing, it wasn't just one guy. This loss exposed multiple cracks in the foundation. Yeah, the turnovers were the headline, but the rushing attack, it was totally non-existent. The offensive line, which had been a bit of a weakness at times during the season, really struggled. And on defense, Hawaii hit them with 2 long touchdown passes that just tested the depth of FIU's secondary. It was, honestly, a perfect storm of failure.
So a loss that painful can do one of 2 things, right? It can define you or it can fuel you. And for FIU, the focus immediately shifted from the problems of the past to building the solutions for the future.
And their response was super methodical. It's a really clear blueprint. Step 1, diagnose what went wrong on the field. Step 2, target those exact needs in recruiting in the transfer portal. And finally, step 3, reload the roster with enough talent to create real competition and raise the standard across the board. And you can see exactly how they attacked each problem, one by one. Worried about turnovers at QB? They go out and get 4-star Richard Subert to push for the starting job. Offensive line struggles? In comes Louis Garnez to anchor the interior. Secondary got exposed on deep balls? Bam! They sign a trio of new defensive backs. This wasn't just throwing darts at a board. It was a targeted, strategic reload. And this isn't just about patching a few holes for next season. It's really a statement of intent. The program truly believes that this infusion of talent isn't just a quick fix, but it's the foundation for sustained success and, yeah, future championship runs.
Which, of course, leaves us with the ultimate question. The pain of that loss in Paradise. It's undeniable, but the response has been aggressive, it's been strategic. They've identified the problems, and they've gone out and recruited the solutions. So now, we just have to wait and see if that's enough to turn one of the program's most painful losses into the fuel for its next great victory.